Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into a completely hidden world of awe-inspiring automation to answer one big question. How exactly does modern manufacturing bring your favorite beverage to life? We're going to trace the complete step-by-step industrial ecosystem of a Coca-Cola bottle.
Right, so let's jump right into uncovering this incredible high-speed gauntlet that every single bottle literally has to survive. I mean, think about the stark contrast here for a second. How does a tiny, seemingly worthless raw plastic pellet actually transform into that highly engineered, perfectly sealed, ice-cold drink you hold in your hands? The journey from that raw, basic material to a globally recognized consumer product is nothing short of an engineering marvel. It takes a perfectly orchestrated symphony of mechanics, physics, and computing power to pull this off on a global scale.
Here's our roadmap for This Explainer. First, the birth of a Coke bottle. Second, high-speed washing and filling. Third, machine vision quality control. Fourth, automated labeling and scanning. And finally, robotic packing and palletizing.
Okay, part 1. The birth of a Coke bottle. We started the very genesis of the container itself, a rapid transformation known as the stretch PET blow molding process. It all kicks off with pouring raw PET plastic pellets and molding them into a small, thick piece called a preform. If you look at one, it essentially looks like a small plastic test tube, but it already has those familiar threaded cap grooves perfectly formed right on top. This preform is then heated up to a crazy high temperature and moved into the stretch blow molding phase. Here, intense, high-pressure air just blasts that heated, pliable plastic against the walls of a mold, instantly snapping it into the exact recognizable shape of the bottle.
Now, here's why this matters so much. The globally recognized branding of Coca-Cola relies entirely on this flawless, standardized molding process to create the perfect canvas. Think about it. If the newly blown bottle has even a micromillimeter of warp or just a slight inconsistency in the plastic, that iconic red label won't adhere properly. Even worse, the cap won't seal tight. And we all know that means flat soda and a ruined customer experience. The brand's entire reputation is literally built upon the physical integrity established right here. It sets a completely unforgiving standard for the rest of the line.
Moving right along to step 2, high-speed washing and filling. Next up, those freshly molded bottles rush down the conveyor into what I like to call the liquid gauntlet. This fluid dynamic stage is intensely rigorous. Before a single drop of soda goes in, the bottle is rapidly and thoroughly sanitized to meet some incredibly strict food safety standards. Then it hits the filler. Automated sensors have to calculate and inject the exact, precise amount of carbonated liquid to the millimeter, all while wrangling highly volatile, pressurized carbonation that desperately wants to foam over. The very second the liquid hits the fill line, the capper has to strike instantly to lock in that signature fizz. To truly wrap your head around this, we have to talk about the staggering scale. Get this, these massive automated filling lines can process up to 36,000 bottles every single hour without missing a beat. Let's put that in perspective, okay? That is 10 bottles filled and sealed every single second, continuously, day in and day out. Go ahead, count to 3 in your head right now. 1, 2, 3. In just that tiny pause, 30 fully sealed bottles were just produced on the line. It's a totally mesmerizing pace that demands absolute mechanical perfection. Witnessing this conveyor transport is honestly like watching an endless sea of red caps just blurring past you. It's this beautifully orchestrated dance of fluid dynamics and mechanical engineering. To keep this massive volume moving at breakneck speeds, advanced pneumatic systems and modern robotics perfectly synchronize the flow. They are constantly adjusting the spacing and speed to prevent bottlenecks, ensuring that not a single bottle collides or tips over in the process.
Which brings us to part 3, machine vision quality control.
So let's look at this third stage, which is basically an unforgiving quality control gauntlet powered by artificial intelligence. Imagine you're a human trying to manually inspect 10 bottles flying past you every single second. No way, right? It is physically impossible for human eyes to maintain that level of focus without getting tired and making subjective, flawed judgments. Machine vision, however, uses high-speed cameras and advanced image processing algorithms to inspect these products with absolute, unwavering consistency. The AI acts as the ultimate tireless guardian of the brand. It never blinks, it never gets distracted, and it never loses focus. The numbers behind this technology are wild. Machine vision systems achieve a remarkable 95% defect detection accuracy, drastically outperforming manual human inspection, which sits down at around 72%. Think about the compounding math of that difference on a factory floor. When you're producing 36,000 bottles an hour, a 23% gap in accuracy equates to thousands of potentially defective, leaking, or misshapen bottles being caught and removed before they ever get the chance to reach a delivery truck.
In a fraction of a second, the AI processes hundreds of frames to automatically extract features from the image and instantly reject any bottle suffering from critical flaws. We are talking about spotting a scratch you could barely see with a magnifying glass. Whether it's dimensional errors, missing components, surface irregularities, or tiny microcracks, if a bottle isn't absolutely perfect, a pneumatic kicker instantly ejects it off the line. Bam! Gone. This relentless sorting ensures only flawless products advance.
Okay, step 4, automated labeling and scanning.
So after surviving the AI's gaze, the bottle moves into the logistics phase, where automated systems seamlessly scan UPC codes on labels, sequentially, across 6 rows of products. Facilities like the Coca-Cola plant in Sandston, Virginia, rely on robust scanning setups like the PeakLogix system. But listen, this isn't just about slapping a sticker on a piece of plastic. It's about giving every single bottle a unique digital identity so it can be tracked, traced, and managed throughout a massive, complex global supply chain.
Peeking into the digital brain of the operation, we see this software interface hard at work tracking running time, scan averages, and raw material usage in real time. This command center is constantly synthesizing the loud, fast-paced chaos of the physical factory floor into neat, organized, and trackable data streams. It literally bridges the gap between the physical brawn of the machinery and the logistical intelligence required to run a modern industrial empire.
And the so what here is crucial. The true power of this software provides factory management with hard, actionable data to instantly pinpoint errors and maintain non-stop efficiency. In modern manufacturing, this data is just as critical as the physical machinery itself. Think about the stakes. If the software predicts a line shortage of labels or plastic preforms, it can immediately alert human workers to restock materials well before that massive 36,000 bottle per hour machine is forced to halt. Catching errors early maximizes throughput and keeps the whole shebang humming along.
Finally, Part 5, robotic packing and palletizing.
At last, our bottle reaches the end of the line. Here, the delicate, high-speed fluid dynamics from earlier in the process give way to brute, heavy-lifting force mixed with surgical precision. Gone are the days of manual, back-breaking labor. Today, end-of-line automation utilizes intelligent industrial robotic arms to take over robotic carton packing and build stable, perfectly patterned pallets. Just remind yourself of the sheer, compounding weight of thousands upon thousands of fluid-filled bottles. This robotic automation is the only thing that makes shipping these massive quantities physically possible.
Solutions from manufacturers like Mocha Robot act as the tireless anchor of the factory. Whether they're moving shrink-wrap trays or lifting incredibly heavy cartons, the final product is stacked flawlessly and safely. These robots run 24/7 without a drop of fatigue, effortlessly arranging customizable pallet patterns like a game of high-stakes, heavyweight Tetris. And most importantly, by taking on the most physically demanding job in the plant, this technology drastically reduces workplace injuries and keeps human operators safe.
Well, that concludes our explainer. So the next time you open a bottle of Coke and hear that crisp snap of the cap, take a second to think about the massive, hidden robotic ecosystem working 24/7 that function flawlessly just to put it in your hand. From raw plastic pellet pouring to intelligent palletizing for delivery, the exact symphony of automation we've explored today is happening in facilities all over the world right now. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the art of industrial automation. So, are you ready to look at your everyday products a little differently?